Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDN TV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications. And now, let's join ace broadcaster MAMODE AKUGHA as he takes us inside the Niger Delta.
Hello out there and welcome to the program. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. I'm your regular host, MAMODE AKUGHA.
Inside the Niger Delta.
The Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, says it remains committed to the completion of ongoing and abandoned projects that will positively impact underdeveloped communities in the Niger Delta region. Executive Director of Projects Victor Antai gave the assurance last week while receiving members of the Ijaw Youth Council who were on a solidarity visit to the Commission's corporate headquarters in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. He noted that while the intervention agency awaits presidential assent of its 2024 budget, it was, however, still working on several ongoing projects that will lessen the sufferings of the Niger Delta people.
The Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) proposed an audacious budget of over 1.911 trillion naira for the 2024 fiscal year. This figure, which is the largest sum ever proposed by the intervention agency, comprises the provision of 1 trillion naira for the completion of some legacy projects across the region. After going through the rigorous process of the budget scrutiny and defense, the House of Reps and the Senate graciously approved the budget. As the NDDC awaits presidential assent of the 2024 budget, some persons have been speaking on the already passed budget proposals. In response to a publication by a group criticizing the budget and labeling it an anti-people budget, the Ijaw Youth Council, led by its Deputy President, Comrade Atigbi Freedom, assured the NDDC that it was not part of the group which they described as disgruntled and on a deliberate mission to smear the reputation of the Commission and its very hardworking management and staff. They assured the NDDC of their unflinching support in its efforts to positively transform the Niger Delta.
And with what the 2024 budget owed for those of us from the Niger Delta and to the youth, Council want to overwhelmingly reassure the MD and the Commission that we stand with you on this budget approval, and we want to urge that it be signed as quick as possible.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the NDDC, Dr. Samuel Obuku, who was represented by the Commission's Executive Director of Projects, Sir Victor Antai, appreciated the Ijaw Youth Council for standing with the NDDC and assured them that no amount of criticism will distract the leadership of the NDDC in its avowed commitment to bring development to backward communities in the Niger Delta.
This NDDC is different. We are interested right now in the completion of the Borokri-Okrika Road. We are interested in the completion of the Kaataba Bridge. Currently, we have done interventions on the East-West Road. Right now, we are also on the intervention. We are intervening in Irwa in Edo State. Right now also we are intervening between Port Harcourt and Owerri. There's an intervention work going on there. The constructions companies are on site. That is what we are doing right now.
Recall that the NDDC held a 2-day stakeholders summit in Uyo, the capital of Akwa Ibom State, with the team Partners for Sustainable Development Forum, NDDC 2024 Budget Conference, and the 3-day stakeholders summit held in Port Harcourt in July that was attended by leaders of the Niger Delta, traditional rulers, women, youth groups, government officials, and other relevant groups. These engagements formed the basis for which the Commission put together its last budget that has now been graciously approved by the National Assembly.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Delta State Governor Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori says his administration has no plans to borrow money in the near future to fund projects and programs of government in the oil-rich state. Governor Oborewori disclosed this last week while addressing journalists after presenting the 2025 budget proposals to the State House of Assembly. The 936 billion naira budget, christened the Budget of Fiscal Consolidation, prioritizes physical infrastructure development, education, and healthcare delivery in the state.
Mr. Speaker, very dear honorable members, I present to you a budget proposal of 936 billion 78,818,719 naira only to execute projects and programs of government in 2025.
Governor Oborewori said that the proposed estimates were carefully crafted to enable his administration continue its ongoing infrastructure renewal efforts across the state. The governor, while providing an account of his financial stewardship over the past 9 months, revealed that his administration employed strict financial discipline by ensuring transparent and accountable use of resources in delivering projects and managing government affairs. Governor Oborewori also pointed out that there is a significant reduction in the state debt burden, which he said dropped from an initial 465 billion naira his administration inherited in May 2023 to about 334.90 billion naira as of the second quarter of 2024, representing a reduction of 130 billion naira. Out of the 936 billion naira 2025 proposed budget of fiscal consolidation, 587.4 billion naira, representing 62.75% of the budget, is earmarked for capital projects aimed at driving infrastructure renewal, boosting economic growth, and improving public services across the state, while 348.7 billion naira, accounting for 37.25% of the budget, is allocated for recurrent expenses, including salaries, pensions, and the general running of the government. Addressing journalists after the presentation, Governor Oborewori emphasized that his administration has no plans to borrow money to fund government expenditures in the state.
When I'll be celebrating my second year in office, I'm very sure I will not still borrow. Very sure I will not still borrow. We believe in action. Some people talk to get media hype. I don't talk to get media hype. You come and you see what we are doing. So when you go back, you will now be telling the story. Those who are in Delta, who are Deltans, those who are residents here, know what we are doing in terms of infrastructure.
Meanwhile, the Speaker of the Delta State House of Assembly, Right Honorable MAMODE, who was joined at the session by members of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly, commended Governor Oborewori for what he described as his uncommon financial discipline in administering the affairs of the state in the past 18 months and counting. He then called on all ministries, departments, and agencies of government to work collaboratively with the various committees in the House during the budget defense sessions to ensure a smooth consideration and timely passage of the budget.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Bayelsa State Governor Senator Doidiri says his administration remains committed to harnessing the state's vast marine potentials as part of its comprehensive strategy to diversify the economy and promote environmental conservation in the state. Senator Diri made this known last week during the expanded stakeholders meeting organized to validate the policy document the state's Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy drafted to provide a clear pathway to harnessing the potentials in the sector.
The event brought together participants from the National Inland Waterways (NIWA), Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency (NIMASA), and the Nigerian Port Authority (NPA), as well as other critical stakeholders in the maritime industry, who discussed extensively on fostering sustainable maritime management, environmental resilience, and broad-based economic growth in the state. Hajja Kaltum Ibrahim, a director from the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, who was a special guest at the event, lauded the state government for what she described as a proactive undertaking.
We are glad to be here as important stakeholders. The ministry is committed to supporting states in harnessing their marine resources for national prosperity.
For his part, Governor Diri restated his administration's commitment under the Assured Agenda to harness Bayelsa State's vast resources in creating meaningful job opportunities for its young population. He also revealed that plans are underway to establish fish cities and create a marine task force that would help in combating crime as well as preventing accidents on the state's waterways.
We are focusing on marine safety to secure our waterways and improve safety across our coastline. And I'm pleased to announce today the establishment of a task force on marine safety.
In a related development, Bayelsa State Governor Senator Diri, during a State Executive Council meeting last week, appealed to Bayelsans for patience as the government collaborates with the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) to restore power to areas affected by the vandalism of a transmission tower supplying electricity to the state. The governor also revealed that plans are underway to establish an independent power plant to address the state's energy challenges and ensure a more stable power supply.
We are working around the clock to ensure that we have our own independent power in Bayelsa State, so that at the end of the day, Bayelsa will be the one that will be selling power to other people. We again will always thank the President of Nigeria for allowing power to now be in the concurrent lists, that both state governments and the federal government can now legislate on it.
The governor also revealed that civil servants in the state would be paid a minimum wage of 80,000 naira, exceeding the national benchmark of 70,000 naira.
Inside the Niger Delta, Standout Properties Limited presents a real estate opportunity of a lifetime. Bloom Towers, a waterfront twin high-rise buildings of 19 and 21 stories at the edge of the Atlantic Ocean in the prestigious Oniru area, Victoria Island, Lagos. Bloom Towers is a green and smart building project consisting of 1, 2 and 3 bedroom apartments and maisonettes, as well as 10,300 square meters available space for commercial and corporate use. Built for completion in 2027, Bloom Towers has 236 units available for sale with a starting price of 100 million naira. Lock down a unit today with a down payment of 20% and spread the balance over the next 24 months. Contact us on 080-693-47063 or 091-22-656-975.
It is a project that will bring huge return on investment.
Bloom Towers, from foundation to skyline. Azikil Group, oil and gas, dredging, power and air transportation. Azikil Group, petroleum product sufficiency, energy sustainability and infrastructure development.
The Chairman Governing Board of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, and its Managing Director, Mr. Chiedu Ebe and Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, joined family, friends and well-wishers recently in Abuja to celebrate the 80th birthday of the pioneer governing board chairman of the NDDC, Chief Onyema Ugochukwu. Chief Ugochukwu, a Nigerian economist, journalist, and politician, was appointed by former President Olusegun Obasanjo as the first chairman of the NDDC in the year 2000. He is consistently recognized and praised for his significant contributions to the development of the Niger Delta and Nigeria as a whole.
Dede Ugochukwu, as he is fondly called, boasts of an excellent public service record as a journalist, economist, and politician. In 1999, he served in the President Olusegun Obasanjo administration as Special Advisor on National Orientation and Public Affairs and was later appointed Pioneer Board Chairman of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) in the year 2000. As the first board chairman of the NDDC, Chief Ugochukwu and his team crafted the roadmap and laid the foundation for the operations of the NDDC, which continues to facilitate the rapid, even and sustainable development of the Niger Delta region till date. In his goodwill message, former Vice President of Nigeria Atiku Abubakar described Chief Ugochukwu as a dedicated and honest Nigerian whose contributions to national development and the advancement of the country are worthy of emulation.
In all those years that we worked together, I never heard, or you never heard, of any unwanted action by Onyema Ugochukwu. He was and still a credible and perfect gentleman.
The current governing board chairman of the NDDC, Mr. Chiedu Ebie, described Chief Ugochukwu as a living legend whose visionary leadership and unwavering dedication have significantly shaped the development landscape in the Niger Delta and Nigeria as a whole.
First of all, he made his mark as a journalist, then a politician, and then an administrator as well. So for us, he's synonymous with NDDC, as being the pioneer chairman of NDDC. Now, for those of us who have now followed him and are now occupying the same position we occupy, we have a lot to learn from him.
Other dignitaries at the event, while recalling other various encounters and remarkable times with the elder statesman, noted that his legacy of service and excellence would continue to inspire generations to come.
Dede Onyema, as is fondly called, is a man of many parts. He's a very humble man. He's a technocrat. He's a politician. He's a family man. But most of all is that he's a man you can trust at any time.
Earlier, during a church Thanksgiving service, the octogenarian, who was full of gratitude for life and a fulfilling career journey, thanked everyone for honoring him with their presence.
I salute you, and may God give all of you friends who will stand by you the way you have been done.
As part of the 80th birthday celebrations, 2 books were unveiled in honor of Chief Onyema's contributions to the development of the Niger Delta region. His lovely wife, Dr. Mrs. Joyce Ugochukwu, children and grandchildren, as well as other extended family members, were all gathered around the accomplished administrator and elder statesman to celebrate this milestone. Chief Onyema Ugochukwu was born on November 9, 1944, in Ohuhu, Umuahia, Abia State. After studying economics at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, he had a brief stint at the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, before he left to pursue his passion in journalism. In his foray into journalism, Chief Ugochukwu plied his trade with notable publications such as Business Times newspaper and West Africa magazine before he became editor of the Daily Times newspaper of Nigeria.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Despite the recent approval by the Delta State government of Greg Oputa as the Obi of Abo Kingdom, some indigenes of the community continue to insist that Greg Oputa cannot rule over them as their monarch, as he lacks the requisite qualifications to sit on the throne of their forefathers. Last Sunday, after parading around different quarters of the kingdom, youths from Abo addressed a press conference where they called on the Delta State government to withdraw the approval they gave to Greg Oputa as Obi of Abo Kingdom.
ESCO approved the appointment of His Royal Majesty Dr. Greg N. Oputa as the Obi of Abo, Ndokwa East local government.
That was the Delta State Commissioner for Information, Ifeanyi Soza, addressing journalists after the State Executive Council meeting recently, where he conveyed the government approval on the emergence of Gregory Oputa as the Obi of Abo Kingdom in Ndokwa East local government area. This action from the Delta State government is coming despite the rejection of Greg Oputa as Obi of Abo by different quarters that make up the kingdom, chiefs and youth groups. To drive home their point that the state government cannot impose a traditional ruler in their kingdom, youth in Abo last Sunday staged a rally and march around the community with traditional masquerade to protest the decision of the state government.
It will be very shameful that the state government will support the illegality that are happening in this kingdom. How can somebody brought a woodlums and charged himself and evidence petition, series of petitions were written to the state government, and they neglected all the petition with the evidence and approved the nomination? It is so abominable. It's so shameful. It's so disgraceful.
Expressing their discontent, the youth wondered why the state's Conflict Resolution Committee, which was looking into the matter, was not allowed to conclude its findings before going ahead with the approval of Greg Oputa as Obi of Abo. They concluded that this simple action of the state government shows its bias in the matter. They accused the state's deputy governor, Sir Monday Onyeme, of allegedly aiding what they described as an abomination in Abo Kingdom.
We are appealing to state governor to call and curtail the excesses and the illegalities of Sir Monday Onyeme. Monday Onyeme, if he's so interested in making kings, I think he has a community, he hails from a kingdom, or a community rather. He should go to his kingdom and create or make a king, not Abo land. Have you seen a king or a kingdom where a king is being crowned without a wife? If he were to be married, he would have showcased or surfaced the wife at the so-called illicit and illegal choking and crowning, according to the custom and tradition of Abo.
While the protesters maintain that their opposition is not a personal fight against Greg Oputa or the state government, they maintain that their age-old customs and tradition must be adhered to strictly in the selection and enthronement of a king who would lead the revered kingdom.
Government should withdraw and remove the hand. Abo have tradition and custom of selecting who will be the king of Abo Kingdom. This very one must not be a different thing of its kind.
Greg Oputa was made the Obi of Abo in September this year, following a controversial choking ceremony that is said to have taken place under the cover of darkness. The eldest man and spiritual leader of Abo people, otherwise known as Odwa, alongside the Abo Traditional Council, had come out to distance themselves from the purported choking and subsequent crowning of Oputa as the Obi of Abo Kingdom. While there are also ongoing court cases challenging the legitimacy of the process as well as questioning the candidacy of Oputa in the contest. The situation in Abo remains tense as various groups within the community continue to stage protests either in support or against the kingship selection process. Those opposing the process have called on the state government to review the entire process and initiate a fresh one in line with the kingdom's customs and traditions. This obvious division in the kingdom highlights the need for the government to swiftly intervene in order to prevent a potential breakdown of law and order in the community.
Inside the Niger Delta.
The people of Uneme Akiosu in AKUGHA local government area of Edo State, who have been without a clan head for the past 66 years, were recently overtaken by joy and excitement as they celebrated the official presentation of staff of office to the new monarch, the Oge of Uneme Akiosu, His Royal Highness Frederick Lucky Iyogun by the Edo State government. The presentation followed his initial coronation as Oba Iyogun II, the Ogie of Uneme Akiosu, in March this year by the head of the Uneme extended clan, His Royal Highness Oba Moses Omorelogie Brahma in Uneme Iroro. The new monarch, Oba Iyogun, promised to commit himself wholeheartedly to fostering unity and advancing the cause of his people.
To the glory of God and to the progress and development of Uneme Osu. In the name of God the Father, Amen. Of the Son, Amen. And the Holy Spirit. Thank you.
The presentation of staff of office to the Oge of Uneme Akiosu in Akoko Edo local government area of Edo State, His Royal Highness Frederick Loki Iyogun Oba Iyogu II, by the Edo State government marks the end of a long chapter without traditional leadership and the beginning of a new era for the community. The representative of the Edo State government, Pastor Osabohe Michael Horace, Director, Chieftaincy Affairs in the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, while congratulating the new monarch on his official recognition, charged him to support and complement the efforts of government in ensuring peace and development across communities in the state.
Employ the good and hardworking people of Uneme Osu community to support and rally round the village head to enable him to effectively discharge his royal duty.
For his part, Oba Iyogu II, a retired customs officer, expressed his gratitude to the state government and the kingmakers for resolving the issues that had prolonged the enthronement of a new king in the community. The monarch then promised to carry everybody along as he charts a pathway for peace and progress in the community.
In unity, whatever we decide is what I will do. I will not do that I want to do. I will do that the community wants us to do. I assure you that I will not disappoint us.
Community leaders, chiefs, and other well-wishers from far and near joined the people in celebrating what they described as the historic moment in the history of Uneme Akiosu.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Well, that's the size of our package on the program for today. Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region, will be back same time, same station next week. Until then, you can follow us on our social media handles shown right now on your screens. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDNTV Nigeria. Until next week, I am MAMODE AKUGHA, thanking you for staying tuned. Bye for now.